public advocate? I hope you did. Please stay away from us. Good morning, everybody. We're happy to hear everyone's opinion, but today this press conference is a joint effort by the public advocate, Letitia James. Please give her a big round of applause. She's here today. We're also joined by Assemblywoman Linda Rosenthal. And this event is co-sponsored by Congressman Nadler and Senators Adriano Espaillat, Brad Hoylman, Bill Perkins, and Jose Serrano. Give them a round of applause. I also want to acknowledge Daisy Fontanes, the principal of Wadley High School. Phil at Conersburg Queens Tobacco Control Coalition. Mir Ali from the Bangladeshi American Advocacy Organization. Desiree Soto, Tobacco Free Staten Island. And I think the name Patrick from the New York City Smoke Free, Quan from the New York City Smoke Free Coalition. I also want to acknowledge the public health groups that work every single day to keep our families healthy. We want to acknowledge the Campaign for Tobacco-Free Adults, the American Cancer Society's Cancer Action Network, the American Lung Association, the American Heart Association, the American Medical Association, the New York Public Interest Research Group, and the New York State chapter of the Academy of American Pediatrics. Give them all a round of applause. And today we are here with one clear message. Our children's health is not for sale. 18 years ago, we stood up, 18 years ago, we stood up to cigarette companies with the same.
We heard you outside. Can you please pipe down?
Hear me inside because it's a scandal. Come on, Randy, stop.
One issue at a time. You'll have your turn in the near future.
18 years ago, we stood up to cigarette companies with the same message. We made them sign an agreement saying that they would not advertise cigarettes to our children. And guess what? Cigarette use by middle and high school students dropped dramatically by a whopping 80%. But today, we're seeing the next generation of nicotine use take off like wildfire. E-cigarettes, the new way for New Yorkers to smoke minus the ashtray. E-cigarettes are everywhere. And part of the reason is because these new companies have dug a big tobacco marketing playbook of 50 years ago. Take a look at the ads up here next to me. Looks familiar? They're doing everything cigarette companies were banned from doing 18 years ago. They're sponsoring concerts and sporting events. They're using celebrity endorsements. They're marketing sweet flavors. And they're even using cartoons like Santa Claus to help sell e-cigs. I hate to say it, but their tactics are working. A whopping 70% of American youth have been exposed to e-cigarette advertising. And e-cigarette consumption among kids and teens grew an astounding 800% between 2011 and 2014. 800%. E-cigs are the gateway to cigarettes. Those same cigarettes that in 2016 remained the leading preventable cause of death in America. We have to put a stop to this trend now. We don't yet know how drastic the health impacts of e-cigarettes will be, and we can't take such a dangerous risk. Not when we know how damaging nicotine is to our children's developing brains. Not when we know how enormous a toll widespread tobacco use took on communities across the country. We have an obligation to learn from the past. We need to apply the same rules that applied to cigarettes to e-cigarettes. So today, we are demanding strong federal regulation of e-cigarettes and calling on the Food and Drug Administration to regulate e-cigs like other tobacco products. We're demanding that the federal government investigate whether e-cig marketing violates existing laws, and if it does, to hold the guilty companies accountable. That means no marketing to children, period. We are demanding no marketing to children. If these tobacco-type companies have any sense of fairness, they will leave the children alone. Because we're not going to stand by and watch another generation get hooked on nicotine. Now let's stand together and say no to e-cigs for kids. Are you with me? Yes. I can't hear you. Yes. We say no to e-cigs.
No to e-cigs.
Stay away from our children.
Stay away from our children.
We're not going to make the same mistake again.
We're not going to make the same mistake again.
Tell the profiteers and the cowards to stand down and leave our children alone.
Stand down and leave our children alone.
And if you don't want to listen to me, you don't have to repeat this. If you don't want to listen to me, then maybe you'll listen to this woman, Public Advocate Letitia James.
A round of applause to our Comptroller, Scott Stringer. Come on, you can do better than that. Let's give it up for Scott for all that he is doing. Where are my children? I want all of my children around me. And if all of those who vape and vote would sign a pledge right now not to market to children, we would be in agreement.
All right.
We'll talk to you afterwards, sir. Thank you very much. So first of all, I want to also give a round of applause to Assemblywoman Linda Rosenthal for all that she is doing here on the Upper West Side. She has truly been a leader. I want to thank all of my colleagues, of course, the medical community and community leaders for coming here today. We know the dangers of cigarettes. We know the dangers of nicotine. We know the dangers because we know lung cancer, and we know emphysema, and we know heart disease, and we know mouth cancer, and we all know death. Cigarette smoking causes 1 of every 5 deaths in the United States, and the public campaign about the health hazards of smoking has been a huge win for public health. Let me smile for your camera. But we will not turn the clock back. So we have assembled this morning to sound the alarm, to launch the campaign, to protect our young children against the new fad in town. They're colorful. They've got flashing lights. They've got seductive slogans, enticing flavors, e-cigarettes. These new form of cigarettes are marketed as the safe alternative to conventional cigarettes because they do not contain tobacco. And unlike traditional cigarettes, which are barred from marketing to children, e-cigs have no ban. And they do not hold back. E-cig marketing is seductive, reeling children in with enticing flavors like peach breeze and vanilla and chocolate. The ads use themes of independence and rebellion. And on every block, a vape store is beckoning our children to try a variety of great flavors and a healthy smoking alternative. In fact, on my way up here from my beloved Brooklyn, I saw a number of your stores. And unfortunately, too many of them were too close to our schools. In fact, more than 70% of American youth are exposed to e-cig advertising that tells them exactly this, that they are constantly reminded that e-cigs are cool because celebrities use them. These marketing ploys work. I can tell you e-cigarettes are not cool. E-cigarette consumption by high school students has soared in recent years, nearly 9 times from 2011 to 2014. And e-cigs use among middle school students has more than tripled from 2011 to 2014. And the truth is that while e-cigarettes will have you believe that they're healthy, not one single clinical study has been submitted to the FDA. Do we know what chemicals are in e-cigs? No. Do we know how much nicotine you inhale? No. Do we know how dangerous these e-cigs truly are?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
And so we know that that was, we didn't practice, but we do know that a recent study from Harvard School of Public Health found a chemical in the majority of flavored eCigs, which is linked to serious respiratory diseases. And we know that nicotine is addictive and can be extremely detrimental to brain development. And we do know that the Centers for Disease Control stated that no youth, not one young person, should use e-cigarettes. So today we are here to say that we need tougher regulations and standards for e-cigs and manufacturers. We need the FDA and the FTC to require manufacturers to disclose exactly what else is in these products, because none of us know. We need more information about the impacts of e-cigs, and we need to stop e-cigarette companies from marketing to our most vulnerable constituents, our young consumers, our children. We need to stop this problem before it gets any worse. So thank you all for coming, and again, I want to thank the Comptroller of the City of New York for assembling us all today to stamp out e-cigarettes.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, New York City Public Advocate Letitia James, for speaking truth to power. And now we want to call up a legislator who took her fight to Albany and won. And she has made it clear that this package is not going to fall into the hands of our children, because this is merely a cigarette. Ladies and gentlemen, let's call up Assemblymember Linda Rosenthal.
Thank you, Comptroller Stringer, Public Advocate Tish James, Patrick Kwan, and everybody here. I'm Assemblymember Linda Rosenthal. I represent the Upper West Side, parts of Hell's Kitchen. And in 2012, I got involved in the e-cigarette issue when I discovered there were no laws banning their sale to minors in New York State. So that year I introduced a bill, it became law, and e-cigarette sales are banned to minors. Now, I found it unconscionable that we were allowing kids access to something we knew so little about. In 2014, I passed a law banning the sale of liquid nicotine to minors and required child-resistant packaging on liquid nicotine vials. Now, all that is wonderful. It's great strides ahead. However, why are advertisements being directed at our children, especially here in New York State, when it's illegal for them to buy e-cigarettes? Now, the popularity of e-cigarettes is a direct reflection of the fact that they are much like cigarettes in the 70s and 80s, totally unregulated. Companies are permitted to advertise e-cigarettes on TV, on the radio, in magazines. They use slick ads featuring B or C celebrities in cool clubs to make e-cigarettes look cool and attractive to young people. The fact that e-cigarettes can also be used almost any place, except in New York City, including indoors, makes them more accessible and more dangerous. Now, e-cigarettes, we don't know what's in them. Many of them come from overseas. We don't know what chemicals are in them. We do know, because Roswell Park Cancer Institute in Buffalo has shown that e-cigarettes expose their users to carcinogens and other dangerous chemicals, including nicotine, formaldehyde, and acrolein, which is a pesticide. A recent study by the World Health Organization showed that people exposed to secondhand vapor from e-cigarettes have nicotine in their blood. And another study showed that levels were comparable to those exposed to traditional tobacco products. Now, I was a 20-year smoker. I'm a 17-year without cigarettes.
Yeah.
But I know how addictive nicotine is. Now, if children have access to their parents, their friends, they're not regulated well enough in stores, in vape stores. They buy them, they get hooked. You know what the next step is? Cigarettes. This is a scourge on our society. You don't need it, but we do need the federal government to step up, use the power they have to issue strong regulations, warning on packages, and eliminate the existence of e-cigarettes in the lives of minors.
All right.
Thank you very
Linda
much.
Rosenthal. And from the New York State Senate, because this is going to be a road going to Albany, State Senator Brad Hoylman.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Comptroller Stringer. I'm State Senator Brad Hoylman. I represent part of the Upper West Side of Manhattan, and I'm so glad to be here with my colleagues in government, namely for the leadership of the Comptroller and our public advocate. Thank you so much. Another round of applause for everything they're doing. And my colleague, Assemblywoman Linda Rosenthal, for her path-breaking leadership on this issue at Albany. A round of applause for her. Thank you. I'm here with my most important constituent, my 5-year-old daughter, Sylvia. And this issue is so important to me, as I know it is to the Comptroller, because we really want to protect the next generation of New Yorkers from big tobacco. It is no surprise that big tobacco is targeting them with flavors of e-cigarettes like gummy bears and bubble gum. And let me tell you, she likes gummy bears and she likes bubble gum, but she should not have them in e-cigarettes. And no kid should be tricked into vaping with these types of flavors and these types of attractions. So I'm very, very grateful to the Comptroller for leading this issue. The FDA and the FTC need to act now, before it's too late, and before the next generation of Americans are hooked on nicotine. Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And all the way from Brooklyn, Councilmember Vinnie Gentili.
Thank you, Mr. Comptroller. I come to you from the beautiful borough of Brooklyn.
It is.
Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. All right. And I come to you today to show my support to the Comptroller and to the Public Advocate and the call for the FDA and the FTC to do better regulation on e-cigarettes, and to congratulate the members of the state legislature for all they have done. Certainly we see that without regulation, big business will target our children, and that is something that has been shown over and over and over again. So I'm here to support this effort, and as we go forward, we also need to be cognizant of the other elephant that's in the room. And that other elephant also offers smoke by the name of orange passion and of violet blue and things of that nature. And that is indoor smoking of shisha. And that indoor smoking, whether it's combined with illegal tobacco or not, is dangerous to those who smoke. And those who are smoking are young teenagers. And yes, and that is something we will, in the City Council, are moving forward on, and I'd ask your support on that kind of legislation also. So congratulations today. Let's move forward on this. Thank you.
And another leader for keeping our kids safe is the Manhattan Borough President, Gail Brewer.
Thank you very much, Comptroller and Public Advocate and all the elected officials. I am honored to be here today. I know that last April, the Centers for Disease Control announced that e-cigarette use among teens doubled in just 1 year, while e-cigarette use among middle school students tripled. Meanwhile, and this is not good news, overall tobacco use stopped declining from 2011 to 2014. These are not good numbers. We are waiting for more research on the long-term effects on adults and e-cigarettes and all different chemicals in them, but we know the effects of nicotine on teens, and I want to thank all the kids. Are there any kids here today? Yay. Thank you all for coming, and thank you for being here. And the fact is, when teens, as we all know, are exposed to nicotine, it can harm or impair their brain's development, and as everyone has said, it promotes addiction. We also know that there are other dangerous chemicals in these projects, as the Assemblywoman indicated. one flavoring chemical found in more than 75% of these e-cigarettes is linked to lung damage and respiratory disease and goodness knows what else. Just as with cigarettes, it's really simple. We cannot allow poison to be sold to our kids in stores as easy as a pack of chewing gum. The Federal Trade Commission and the Food and Drug Administration must leave no stone unturned. We must explore every avenue to prevent e-cigarettes being marketed and advertised to kids. And I have a message to the manufacturers making, marketing, and selling these products. Do the right thing. Don't market or sell to these things to teens and kids. And I want to add, I'm the sponsor of the law that was passed when I was in the city council, no smoking in parks and beaches. It was hell to pass. A lot of pushback, but it worked. And this will work also. Thank you, everyone who's here.
Thank you for coming. Thank you. Please welcome Karen Blumfeld, the Global Advisors of Smoke-Free Policy, representing them. Where's Karen? Give her a big round of applause.
Well, this is a monumental day, clearly. I'm with Global Advisors on Smoke-Free Policy. We've been working on this issue for some time, and we're so proud of the Comptroller for hosting this event and for New York City for all the work that it's done in the state to regulate and restrict e-cigarette use and regulations. Now, we all know that self-regulation of e-cigarette marketing and advertising clearly doesn't work. The classic tobacco industry playbook that was banned for cigarettes has been reinvented as the Bible on how to market e-cigarettes to our most vulnerable population, our youth and our young adults. We know that foxes do not watch the henhouse for a very good reason, which is why this literally exploding e-cigarette market needs swift and comprehensive regulation. And I thank everyone here and our leadership for trying to make this happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. A real leader in this effort from the New York City Smoke-Free and Public Health Solutions. Please welcome Patrick Kwan.
Thank you, Comptroller. My name is Patrick Kwan. I'm the director of NYC Smoke-Free at Public Health Solutions. What we do know is that candy bars and tobacco products like e-cigarettes and hookah and cigarettes don't belong together. And unfortunately, what we do see is that at stores that are right around the corner from many schools and playgrounds around New York, they are sold side by side. And this is unacceptable, and a lot of these displays of tobacco products, including e-cigarettes and hookah, are really some of the last avenues that marketers are able to target our young people, including our teenagers. The latest CDC National Tobacco Survey found that in just 1 year, the use of e-cigarettes have tripled amongst teenagers, and the use of hookah has doubled. And this is completely unacceptable. What we do know is that nicotine is dangerous for kids at any age, whether they are coming from e-cigarettes, coming from hookah, or from cigars. And this is something that we need to do more on. It's not only a call for, a call for concern, but it's also a call for action to further limit the marketing and access of tobacco products for young people. Thank you.
Two more speakers, but I want to call up a leader in Albany again because we need this state legislative coalition building. Please welcome Jo Ann Simon from Brooklyn, New York State Assembly.
Thank you. Thank you. I understand. I've been given a passport to come here to Manhattan today to join you, and I am very grateful to the city controller and former Manhattan Borough President and the current Manhattan Borough President for issuing that passport. So thank you. I am here today to lend my voice in support of this effort to limit and ban e-cigarettes to our youth. There is nothing good about this product for our youth. It is nicotine. Nicotine does not have beneficial effects to our youth. It affects brain development. And worse than that, this is the the marketers creating a habit in our young people. That is not good. This is not a habit that young people should be encouraged to develop. It will cost them a fortune in many ways over their lives, and it will cost all of us in society. So I am here to lend my strong support to this effort, and I thank you for your attention today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, yeah. Last but certainly not least, perhaps our most important speaker is a parent and the CB9 Youth Education Committee Chair. Please welcome Judith Insel.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so pleased to have this opportunity to come out and support the efforts of our politicians against e-cigarette pointed towards youth. We in West Harlem have issues that are multitude of issues for our youth. And as far as exposing them to harmful drugs and any consequences of harmful issues whatsoever is of great consequence to our community in general. The community of New York City, which has a huge population of teenagers, I being the parent of a 13-year-old and a 15-year-old, middle school and high school students, are very concerned. We are all concerned that these children are being exposed to something that looks attractive, that looks fun, and that looks engaging to them as students and community members. I know that our teenagers, some of who are here, are deadly against having this marketed towards them and their peers. So I thank all of the politicians, Comptroller Stringer, and everyone that is making the effort to make sure that our advertisements are not geared towards the most vulnerable people in our communities. It is our responsibility as adults to make sure that we stand up and make sure that these advertisements are not geared towards our most vulnerable. I'm so happy to be able to come up here as a parent and a representative of communities in the uptown neighborhoods, and I thank you for your efforts.
Thank you.